Minutes. President Donald Trump called the Sutherland Springs church shooting a, quote, mental health problem at the highest level.
He reacted to Sunday's shooting that killed 26 people while he was on his trip to Asia. He denounced it as an act of evil and said Texas has his administration's full support. He later said, quote, "This isn't a gun situation," end quote. The president also ordered flags be flown at half-staff until Thursday night to honor the more than 24 victims.
Democratic lawmakers took to Twitter after the attack to push for gun control legislation. Senators Bob Casey, Richard Blumenthal, and others called on Congress. Former President Barack Obama also shared his view. He said in part, quote, "May God grant all of us the wisdom to ask what concrete steps we can take to reduce the violence and weaponry in our midst."
The small town of about 700 people is grieving for 26 of its community members fatally gunned down during Sunday worship. The victims as young as 5 years old. Investigators say 26-year-old Devin Kelly is the suspect. The gunman wore tactical gear when he fired an assault rifle in the First Baptist Church Sunday morning. A parishioner was able to grab Kelly's gun and chased him from the scene. The gunman crashed his car a short time later and was found dead. It's unclear at this point if he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound or if he was shot by the man who was chasing him. The suspected gunman was discharged from the Air Force for assaulting his spouse and child. He was sentenced to 12 months confinement. Right now, police do not have a motive for this massacre. Federal agents have not yet found any ties to terror. Texas's governor says this attack is the worst mass shooting in the state's history.
President Trump's raised the issue of trade with Japanese business leaders. Trump told Japanese and U.S. business leaders in Tokyo the U.S. and Japan will have more trade than anybody ever thought possible now that the U.S. is no longer under the Trans-Pacific Partnership. The president added the U.S. has suffered massive trade deficits with Japan for many years, but he hopes to turn that around.
We want fair and open trade, but right now our trade with Japan is not fair and it's not open. But I know it will be soon. We want free and reciprocal trade, but right now our trade with Japan is not free and it's not reciprocal, and I know it will be.
The president also complained millions of Japanese cars are sold in the U.S., but virtually no U.S. cars are sold in Japan. He added, quote, "We'll have to negotiate that out."
The president says the era of strategic patience is over when it comes to the United States' stance toward North Korea. President Trump talked about the North Korean kidnappings of Japanese people and also alluded to the death of American Otto Warmbier. The Japanese prime minister said his country and the U.S. are in complete agreement on how to deal with North Korea. Along with those additional sanctions, President Trump says he expects Japan to purchase massive amounts of U.S. military equipment. Trump says the country will be able to shoot North Korean missiles down with that equipment. For its part, Japan's prime minister says his country plans to upgrade the equipment due to the rising threat. President Trump's approval ratings have continued to decline. Just 37% of Americans say they approve of his job performance. That's according to the latest ABC News poll. Trump's approval rating is the lowest for any president at 9 months in office, dating back to the year 1946.
Former Donald Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort's due in federal court today for a bail hearing. Manafort and associate Rick Gates face criminal charges that include 12 counts, including conspiracy to launder money and conspiracy against the U.S. They both pleaded not guilty. The charges don't focus on either man's role in the Trump campaign. The former interim head of the Democratic National Committee said Sunday she found no evidence of rigging the election in Hillary Clinton's favor. Donna Brazile appeared to soften her tone from earlier. Previously, Brazile criticized Clinton for a joint fundraising committee, an agreement with the party committee. She says it gave Clinton too much say in the DNC and hurt Senator Bernie Sanders' bid for the nomination.
Here's what's happening right now. We're learning more about that deadliest shooting at a place of worship in American history. CNN reporting a third of those dead were all from one family. You're now going to take a live look at the scene from outside of that Texas church. We know that the shooting killed one of the pastor's daughters. She was 14 years old. A Department of Homeland Security official says he'll work even harder to train religious leaders on how to keep their members safe. His team has coordinated more than a dozen efforts to increase security in the past 4 months. Now, they say that they're going to be a whole lot busier. That's the latest from Texas.
You know, looking at video, they showed some video of last week's their mass or their service, their church service. It's such a tiny little
it's
church.
a small town and a small church.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much, Angie.
The Columbia City Council will review improvements to one of its parks at its meeting tonight.
But the vision for this park is unlike anything the city has right now. KMUH's Craig White joins us live to tell us what information One Columbia Park, or rather transformation, the park would make.
I'm at Claryside Community Park, which is home to the Columbia Farmers Market. The market currently runs on a vacant lot near the Arc, but park improvements could help it run here year-round. The first construction phase includes a multi-use pavilion using half the lot and an urban garden for fruit and vegetable growing. Parks and Recreation partnered with 3 local agriculture organizations for this proposal. Park Services Manager Gabe Huffington says the idea of an agricultural park started with this partnership.
I mean, it was kind of a natural fit in terms of what was there, the history of that in terms of being the Boone County Fairgrounds at one time. And so it's always had that agriculture theme. And so we are just going to start to work on kind of bringing that back in terms of what we put in the park.
If approved tonight, the city hopes to begin work next spring and complete it by fall of 2019. Reporting live in Columbia, Craig White, KMU8 News.
Get ready for a busy week on tax reform. The House Ways and Means Committee meets today to start debating and amending the legislation introduced last week. KMU8's Daytona Everett's live to tell us how these changes could affect the housing industry right here in mid-Missouri.
Are you in the market to buy a new house? Well, you might want to reconsider just how much you're willing to spend. The proposed tax changes would offer fewer tax brackets and lower taxes for middle-class families, making it possible to do taxes on a postcard. But one drawback is the mortgage interest deduction. It would be cut in half, according to CNN. If you're writing off a mortgage on your house today, you're fine. But people interested in buying a new house would have mortgage interest deductions capped at $500,000. So what does this mean for mid-Missouri?
I don't think the people that are buying the $500,000 and up homes are probably going to make a determination based on the tax code. But it will have a financial effect on them that will affect further spending in other areas.
An economics expert told me that the average person would see more take-home pay and a better job market with the new corporate taxes. Reporting live in Columbia, Daytona Everett, KMU8 News.
All right, we're waking up to some pretty chilly conditions out your door this morning, and this cooler weather looks to stick around for much of the work week this week. I'll have a look at your 8-day forecast. It's coming up in a few minutes.
There's a live look over downtown Columbia at 5:38 here on your Monday morning. We'll be right back.
Every month, the competition makes unattainable offers to lure you in. It's different at Riley, locally owned with true discounts and real deals, making your buying experience better.
Riley Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, or Riley Toyota in Jefferson City.
For over 60 years, the Jennings family has been all about premium meats. From burgers to brisket, chops to cutlets, roasts to ribs, sausage to steaks, and all the bacon you could want along the way. Jennings Premium Meats for every barbecue, picnic, or dinner with the family. Call and order one of our meat packs today for your next get-together, or stop by our shop in historic downtown New Franklin and pick up tonight's dinner. Jennings Premium Meats. Fresh cuts, well-seasoned service.
Why is Vision Source of the Ozarks different? Our offices are doctor-owned and view their patients as part of their family. Whether it's the latest fashion eyewear, the newest contact lenses, or total eye health care, we have one simple vision: to help people see. Using the latest technology, our Vision Source doctors can prescribe the most accurate eyewear, contact lenses, and detect early stages of diseases like diabetes and hypertension. Experience the most caring and personalized eye care around. Visit VisionSourceOfTheOzarks.com.
You know what insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Hi, I'm Doug with All Weather. The service industry's this way. No matter who you call, they always have a long list of repairs that exceed the cost of a new system. Imagine that. Next time you have heating, cooling, or plumbing issues, call All Weather. We're there to fix your problem expertly, on time, on budget, with upfront pricing. Quit going insane and call All Weather. We fix stuff. No surprises here.
Every month, the competition makes unattainable offers to lure you in. It's different at Riley, locally owned with true discounts and real deals, making your buying experience better.
Riley Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, or Riley Toyota in Jefferson City.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather.
Good morning, everyone. 5:40 is your time now, bright and early this Monday morning. We're going to start off with a live look over Columbia Regional Airport. There's a few folks down near the airport this morning getting their day started. And for all of us in mid-Missouri, it's a chilly one. And we're going to hang on to a lot of cloud cover as well for the next couple of days before that sunshine finally returns by the middle to late part of the work week this week. But check out our average high temperature should be right at about 58 degrees for this week. And we're going to be well below that for the next several days, especially heading into Tuesday and Wednesday. Once that front finally works its way completely through the area, that cold air really sinks on in behind that, with highs tomorrow and Wednesday only into the upper 40s, which means our low temperatures overnight looking back to the upper 20s and lower 30s. So a couple of really, really chilly days ahead. And then once we finally get that sunshine back and a wind shift out of the south, we should at least be more comfortable back into the middle 50s by Thursday and Friday of our next work week. But here's a look at that 24-hour temperature change, anywhere from about 18 to 23 degrees cooler than we were just 24 hours ago. And our temperatures continue to drop. We're at about 31 right now in Kansas City and 44 in St. Louis, of course, here at home, kind of splitting that difference there. You had a really good picture of where that cold front was. Here it is, just on off to our southeast. And as far as the shower activity is concerned for much of this morning, a lot of those showers and storms are well off to our southeast. The problem is this front is just going to kind of linger and stay put just off to our southeast. So behind it, still hanging on to a lot of extra cloud cover. I think we could see some peaks of sunshine in and out through mainly our morning hours today, especially for areas off to the north and northwest. But overall, a very gloomy start to the day. We could see maybe just a few really light showers, some pockets of drizzle by the middle part of this afternoon. But as far as some of that more steady rainfall is concerned, that's only going to be for folks south of I-70, especially near the lake area into Lynn and Herman, maybe as far north as the Jefferson City area. And this is going to be as we take a look at 6 o'clock later on this evening. A lot of those are going to be still around the area overnight tonight and into early Tuesday morning. We can still see a few pockets of drizzle out there to start your day tomorrow. But overall, a mostly cloudy to actually pretty overcast day for a lot of folks throughout the day tomorrow. Still could see a few sprinkles here or there, but overall tomorrow, just looking like a dry but very, very cloudy day. It's not going to be until early Wednesday morning from north to south we really start to see those clouds building out of the area, and we finally have the sunshine back for at least a good 3 solid days between Wednesday and Friday of this work week. But for today, we're just going to call it a mostly cloudy sky. High temperatures right around 51 degrees. And then overnight tonight, our lows are pretty similar to where we were this morning with all of that cloud cover. It's just going to act as a blanket and keep those temperatures a little bit warmer than what they could be behind that front, right around 36 on average for an overnight low tonight and into your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at the rest of that work week forecast. We're back into the 40s. Like I said, a couple of really chilly days for Tuesday and Wednesday with lows back into the lower 30s. We start to rebound a little bit, at least back into the middle 50s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But another front rolls through this weekend, bringing us on and off rain chances. It looks like at this point pretty much throughout the entire day on Saturday. So if you have weekend plans, it looks like Friday and Sunday are pretty good to go. Just need to keep an eye on Saturday.
Well, and then the football game's at 6.
It is a night game. I think
That is this time, yes.
Yeah. So senior night, you know, and a big game against Tennessee. It'd be really nice to win that one.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Tor.
All right, here's what's happening right now. Colin Kaepernick, with his collusion grievance that he has asked the NFL to grant. Now they're saying that Roger Goodell will, in fact, be deposed, that for asked questions about that case. Kaepernick's attorneys are saying that they will speak to Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, New England Patriots owner, as well as the Houston Texans, San Francisco 49ers, and the Seattle Seahawks coach Pete Carroll. Now, ultimately, Kaepernick's legal team's asking that it's going to be digitally picking through the inner workings of why some teams entertained and then passed on Kaepernick after he entered free agency in March. Specifically, what was the dialogue taking place between owners and executives and the coaching staff? So Colin Kaepernick basically saying, I think you guys worked against me, and now that's not why I'm not in the NFL. We'll see, but Roger Goodell's going to have his say.
It's been a very volatile year for the NFL, to say the least.
Yeah, putting it lightly. Thank you. Let's take a live look now out of our mid-Missouri. That is Jefferson City at 544. We'll be right back.
Calling all soccer players, it's time to sign up for the 3v3 Soccer Fest hosted by the Show Me State Games. It's coming up November 18th and 19th in Columbia. Visit smsg.org for rules and information and register your team before November 9th.
For one day, we all come together.
So no one leaves hungry. Help feed our neighbors in need this holiday season. Join us for Partnership Against Hunger, November 21st at Schnucks and Walmart stores in Columbia and the Rockbridge Hy-Vee.
It's a rough world out there. Why not treat yourself to Lazy Boy Comfort? Baumgartner's is Mid-Missouri's only Lazy Boy Comfort studio, with recliners starting at just $249. Anyone can take comfort in that. Baumgartner's, making you comfortable for over 60 years in a vase in Columbia.
We're going to make this a November to remember at Bob McCosh. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, take advantage of employee pricing on all 2017 Silverados, Suburban, Tahoe, Traverse, Colorado, Camaro, Corvette, and Express Van. Every 2017 is on sale right now. See your savings at bobmccosh.com. Buy new roads to #1 Business Loop, Columbia. A November to remember. Chevrolet makes the car. Bob McCosh makes the difference.
If you've been injured at work, you may be worried about losing your job. You should know that it's against the law for your employer to retaliate against you in any way, including having a lawyer help you deal with the workers' compensation insurance company. At the Hines & Wilson Law Firm, we fight to protect your rights before it's too late. We only charge 25% of the settlement. There is no cost to you before your case settles. Call for a free consultation to see whether you need an attorney. Trusted, respected, the Hines & Wilson Law Firm.
Sleep like a queen or king on Sealy, Stearns & Foster, or Tempur-Pedic from Baumgartner's. The Sleep Source Missourians have trusted for over 60 years. With queen-size Sealy sets starting at just $399. Rest easy and save at Baumgartner's in a vase in Columbia.
The KOMU8 iPhone and Android News app is brought to you by University Subaru. Download yours today.
Welcome back. 5:47 is your time this Monday morning, and once again, you'll need to bundle up the kiddos before they head off to the bus stop. We're checking at very chilly conditions with morning time temperatures hovering around the upper 30s and lower 40s, but a lot of us are feeling a good 5 to 10 degrees cooler than that, especially for folks off to the north across parts of Macon and Moberly, only feeling like the lower 20s at this point. And from there, under a very cloudy sky, highs today only top out near 51 degrees. Of course, that's all behind that cold front that moved through the area last night. Actually brought strong to severe showers and storms, a ton of hail to folks off to our east across the St. Louis area. We actually lucked out as far as some of those stronger storms were concerned, and really a lot of us didn't pick up much, only about a trace of precipitation throughout the day yesterday. So here's where it puts us for all of November and for all of 2017. We're about 0.4 of an inch behind for the entire year, and really looking like a very dry work week this week. Really, our next rain chances don't arrive until overnight Friday and into next Saturday morning.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU8 Sports.
Good morning, everyone. Mizzou volleyball looked for a 4th straight win yesterday against LSU at the Hearn Center. Alyssa Munlin was huge for the Tigers in this one. Opening set, Munlin beats LSU to the net for the kill. She had 7 kills in the first half as Mizzou takes it 25-16. Then second set, Tigers trail 24-22, but Mizzou is able to come back to tie the set thanks to 2 straight points. MU eventually wins the set 27-25. Mizzou then wins the third set by 10 points on the way to a sweep of LSU. Munlin finishes with a team-high 15 kills, and the Tigers get their 4th win in a row. To NFL action now. The Chiefs visited the Cowboys yesterday in a game that was not short on storylines coming in. The big headline grabber, of course, was the status of Ezekiel Elliott, who was on the field for Dallas after questions about his status continued to swirl during the week. On the other side, the Chiefs came in looking to right the ship after losing 2 of their last 3 games. The Cowboys honored Tony Romo before the game as Romo made his return to Dallas, calling the game for TV alongside Jim Nantz. To the action on the field, 21 seconds to go before the half. On 3rd and goal, Dak Prescott scrambles, stays on his feet, and scampers for a 10-yard touchdown. It's 14-3 Dallas. A few seconds later, time for one more Chiefs play before the break, and Alex Smith makes it count. Finding speedster Tyreek Hill wide open, Hill uses his blockers on his trip to the end zone. Big momentum swing for KC, 14-10 game. Same score in the third now. and Smith rolls out, hitting Travis Kelce. The 2-yard score puts the Chiefs up by 3. But the highlight on this play is after the play. Kelce beats his teammates in a celebratory potato sack race. It was Elliott and the Cowboys, though, who got the last laugh. Elliott caps off a 12-play drive with a short touchdown, and the boys are back in front. Cowboys up 11 in the 4th. Smith looking to lead a late comeback on 4th down. He's picked off by Jeff Heath. That's the nail in the coffin for KC. Smith's first interception of the season after setting an NFL record with the most completions to start the year without a pick. The Chiefs have now lost 3 of their last 4 after the 5-0 start. Other notable NFL scores yesterday, the Eagles trounced the Broncos 51-23. Philly signal caller Carson Wentz continued his impressive 2017 campaign, going 15 for 27 with 4 touchdowns. And on Sunday Night Football last night, the Raiders withstood 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards passing from Jay Cutler for the 3-point win. Marshawn Lynch led the offensive charge for Oakland, rushing for 2 touchdowns. The Raider win, combined with the Chiefs' loss, moves Oakland 2 games back of KC for first place in the AFC West standings. And that's sports.
Thank you, Brendan. Live look over mid-Missouri. That's the Sedalia area. You can take my word for it. Can't really see it. Your time's now 5:51 on your Monday morning. We'll be right back.
For the important moments, you want someone you trust. The stylists are all about quality. They listen, and you always get the right cut. That's why I keep coming back.
You ready for your first haircut?
The right cut for the right moments. Cost Cutters.
I'm Jimmy. This is my definition of fresh since 1983.
Welcome to Seidenstrickers, your unexpected spot for a ladies' night fun. Don't miss our John Deere Ladies' Night Thursday, November 9th at our Mexico location from 5:30 to 7:30. Enjoy appetizers, beverages, and prizes. Plus, save 20% on our wide selection of John Deere toys, tools, and merchandise. Perfect for everyone on your holiday shopping list. Don't miss our one night of fun and savings at Seidenstrickers Ladies' Night, November 9th. Don't take our word for it. Experience the party and the deals for yourself. Visit us at Seidenstrickers.com.
I'm Dr. Timothy McGarity. I'm sure you've heard that LASIK is a safe and permanent way to improve your vision. So I have to ask, what's holding you back? At Restoration Eye Care, we're the first in mid-Missouri to offer fully custom laser-only LASIK. We make a custom map of your eyes that guides our lasers with unparalleled accuracy. Visit us online to set up a free screening where you'll get the information you need to decide if LASIK is the right choice for you.
Restoration Eye Care. Your vision, your life, your choice.
Treatments have given me a new lease on life and new energy level.
It was gone. It was 9-day difference. I mean, instantly.
When your vein circulation improves, you get more energy. And who doesn't want more energy?
My legs, now that I've had treatments, feel rejuvenated, like I'm a new person.
When I get home at work at night, I'm not tired at all. I'm ready to go. It feels like I have a whole new life ahead of me.
Take charge of your health at Missouri Vein Care.
Life is full of important moments, and that's why I keep coming back. The stylists listen, and I always get the right look. But what I like most, you always know you're important.
I love it.
The right cut for the right moments. Cost Cutters.
The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by the law firm of Harper, Evans, Wade, and Nettemeyer. We will fight for you.
All right, welcome back. 5:55 is your time. Let's take another quick check at those current conditions before you get yourself ready and out the door this morning. Fortunately, we're waking up to really dry skies over mid-Missouri, and actually you probably won't need the umbrella for the next several days, and except for if you live areas south of I-70 where we could see a few really brief light spotty showers both this afternoon and into Tuesday as well. But for the most of us, it's just going to be a lot of a cooler day. Right now we're about 29 from Macon into Salisbury and Moberly, mid to upper 30s for the rest of us at this point. So it's heavier jacket or probably coat weather for a lot of us, especially areas well off to our north. Fortunately for us, Winds aren't going to be very strong this morning or this afternoon as well. They're from the north and northeast, only at about 5 up to 10 miles per hour. So, of course, if things are a little bit gustier, it would definitely be a chillier start to our day. Now, for the next several hours, we take a look at that morning time forecast. Overall, a lot of us are going to hang on to mostly cloudy skies. I think we could see a few peaks of sunshine at times in and out throughout the morning. So not quite as overcast of a day as we were compared to Saturday and Sunday of this past weekend, but temperature-wise, things are a lot different. 30s and 40s through about 7:30, 9:30, and then we break into the mid-40s by about 11:30, a little bit closer to that lunch hour later on today. Now, as far as that cloud cover is concerned, we finally see some pretty good changes in that forecast. Now, for the rest of the day tomorrow, we are mainly cloudy, actually pretty overcast throughout much of the day. Again, we could see a few light sprinkles in there, but that sunshine finally returns to us by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this upcoming weekend. If we take a look at temperatures, though, for the next couple of days, that cold air really starts to filter in between Tuesday and Wednesday, as our highs, as you can see, only make it back into the middle and upper 40s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Behind that, we do have a little bit of a warm-up in store for this at least first half of this upcoming weekend. We'll take a look at that in just a little bit, but right now, send it back over to Angie.
Here's what's happening right now. Amazon cutting prices of products from third-party sellers on its website. Now, this goes beyond Amazon's typical method of offering discounts only on its items that it sells directly. The discount applies to products like board games and tech gadgets offered by other companies as the holiday season approaches. Of course, they're trying to combat competition with big box stores. Amazon has been trying to compete with the lower-priced rivals like Walmart. The move allows Amazon to sell the products at lower prices, but still gives the full price that the seller has asked of Amazon. But some sellers have complained, saying the discount devalues their products. Talking about 9% here to try Amazon trying to compete with Walmart for the holiday sales. But not necessarily good news to all of the third-party sellers.
I mean, this is the time of year, though, where for retailers, it's the Super Bowl.
It's do or
holiday
die,
shopping season.
So they make it all back. This is where, I mean, it is a short amount of time, but they bank on it. So.
Thank you
Amazon
very much,
again.
Let's take a live look now from mid-Missouri. 5:57 is your time. You're watching KOMU8 News Today.
It's the perfect time to purchase your next mattress from Beautyrest Sleep Gallery. We are having a truckload sale with big savings on Beautyrest and Serta iComfort mattress sets. We have the famous Beautyrest pocketed coil with queen sets as low as $3.99. Experience a relaxed atmosphere with no pressure from our good friends John or Joe. You will love our large selection of Serta mattresses at the lowest price in town. Keep your money local at Beautyrest Sleep Gallery. Wake up and be happy.
What's that? Herbicide! What a joke! Hey, Ragweed, pass the soap!
Listen to Amaranth and Cockleburr back there singing in the shower.
And on that farm he had some weeds!
Uh-oh. I can't even get out of here. Mommy!
Get unlimited data with Device Protection Plus included only from U.S. Cellular. Because everybody wants unlimited data. And since accidents do happen, some device protection might come in pretty handy too. So, hurry in today. Because right now at U.S. Cellular, you can get unlimited data with Device Protection Plus included for 12 months. Don't miss this deal. Only from the network with a stronger signal in the middle of anywhere.
Mom says her Odyssey gets 5-star safety rating. I don't know what that means, but I got 5 stars from Miss Baker this week for going above and beyond on my Columbia Spotted Frog Science project. It makes this sound, ribbit. You know who else Mommy says goes above and beyond and gets lots of stars? Columbia Honda, where we got our new van. It goes vroom, not ribbit.
Shop Columbia Honda and experience our 5-star above and beyond customer service. The smart choice.
It's time for the Sleep Number semi-annual sale on the only bed that adjusts on both sides to your ideal comfort. Your Sleep Number setting. And snoring? Does your bed do that? Right now, during our semi-annual sale, our Queen C4 mattress with adjustable comfort on both sides is only $14.99. Save $300. End soon. Visit sleepnumber.com for a store near you.
Good morning in Missouri. It is Monday, November 6th, 2017.
Thanks for waking up with us. It's a chilly Monday. Hopefully you had a nice weekend.
Yes. Yeah, it's a nice, we appreciate the weekend, Tori, but it does feel a little more like November now, doesn't it?
It does, and we're not going to be back in the 60s and 70s like we were this weekend for quite some time. And here's a look at temperatures out your door this morning. 20s and 30s, so it's feeling a little bit more like late fall, early winter. 28 right now in Macon and 29 in Moberly. Mid to upper 30s for a good majority of the rest of us, but check out those feels like wind chill conditions. It feels like 20 degrees right now in Moberly. Low 20s also for Macon and Brunswick, but upper 20s, low 30s, though, for the rest of us. So a very, very chilly start to the day, and we're tracking even cooler conditions for tomorrow morning and into your Wednesday morning as well. So I have a look at a much cooler 8-day forecast for you. That's coming up in a few minutes.
President Trump has called the Sutherland Springs church shooting in Texas a, quote, mental health problem at the highest level.
He reacted to the shooting that killed 26 people while he's on his trip to Asia. He denounced it as an act of evil and said Texas has his administration's full support. He later said, quote, this is not a guns situation. The president has ordered flags be flown at half staff until Thursday night to honor the more than 24 victims and dozens of injured.
Another top Trump administration official is under scrutiny today for ties to Russia. Leaked documents connect Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross with a Russian company partially owned by Vladimir Putin's son-in-law. Democrats are calling for an investigation to see if Ross misled the public by not disclosing that relationship. In his confirmation, Ross said he sold most of his investments. But the leaked documents show he continues to own a stake that some say could be a conflict of interest.
It's unclear how soon a Kentucky senator will return to work after fracturing 5 ribs after being assaulted. Republican Senator Rand Paul was attacked this past Friday by a neighbor. Rand's injuries were initially reported as minor after being tackled by him. Paul's chief strategist described the injuries as more serious later on, saying the senator is having trouble getting around because of the pain and he is not allowed to fly back to Washington. Kentucky Speaker of the House stepped down amid a sexual harassment allegation. A local newspaper reports Jeff Hoover secretly settled an allegation from a woman on his staff. Hoover denied the allegation and said he sent inappropriate but consensual text messages. He did not resign as a representative, only as the House Speaker.
Congressman turned convicted criminal Anthony Weiner must surrender by 2 p.m. today for his prison sentence. Weiner is set to serve 21 months at a federal prison for inmates who need specialized medical or mental health care. A judge sentenced Weiner in September for sending sexually explicit text messages to a 15-year-old girl. Weiner says he had been, quote, a very sick man for a very long time. Demonstrators in England burned an effigy of Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein this weekend. The town of Edenbridge has an annual tradition of burning controversial public figures at the Guy Fawkes Night Bonfire. 78 women have accused Weinstein of sexual harassment or assault. He has denied the allegations.
All right, here's what's happening right now. An impeachment trial will start today for Jaron Stewart. You probably haven't heard of him, but Stewart is the vice president of Clemson University's student government and was among about a dozen students who sat at the Pledge of Allegiance during a student senate meeting back in late September. The students chose to sit in protest of racial injustice and on campuses across the nation. Stewart said, quote, since then he has faced a social lynching resulting from implicit bias. Now, Miller Hoffman, that's the student Senate member who introduced the article of impeachment, said accusations of racism tied to this action is completely untrue, citing an incident report alleging Jaron Stewart took items from a dorm residence room. I was looking at the timeline of this. This has drug on for months here, and It's going to get interesting whether this vice president of a student organization on Clemson can be impeached. He has been very vocal about how he feels and what things are happening there at Clemson. We'll see.
That'll influence other universities and reactions other students have
It does seem that oftentimes colleges are really the first kind of testing ground for these kind of social issues.
Or the NFL, I guess, right?
Yeah, that too. Columbia has new plans for a local park it hopes will promote healthy living.
KOMU 8's Craig White joins us live to tell us which park could see some pretty big changes.
The Columbia City Council will meet tonight to discuss turning Clary Shy Community Park into an agriculture park. Improvements include a pavilion for the Columbia Farmers Market and an urban garden. The city has large backing for the project already through the Friends of the Farm Partnership. The Columbia Center for Urban Agriculture pledged around $665,000 toward the project. I spoke with their executive director, who told me it will help manage the garden and reinforce an active lifestyle.
But all the food that's grown there is going to be donated to local food pantries. And so as we're teaching people how to grow food, we're also going to be helping other people in our community.
MU Healthcare also has $495,000 pledged to sponsor the planned pavilion. The project could begin this next spring if approved tonight. Reporting live in Columbia, Craig White, KOMU8 News.
An American woman won the New York City Marathon for the first time in 40 years. 36-year-old Shalane Flanagan crossed the finish line first on Sunday. Her unofficial time was 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 53 seconds. Flanagan beat a three-time defending champion by about a minute. She said she has dreamed of winning since she was a little girl. The National Weather Service will survey parts of Ohio today to see if a tornado touched down there. Storms brought heavy rain, wind, and power outages. 8 people were injured. Dozens of homes, barns, and other buildings were badly damaged as well.
New Franklin police are looking for a man who officers say took his daughter and refuses to return her. The suspect, a registered felon, Theodore Postak, was supposed to meet with police after officers found drugs and weapons in his home. He refused. Instead, police say he took his 13-year-old daughter Jasmine with him in a pickup truck. They were last seen on Old Highway 40 in Cooper County. Family and friends will mourn a New Jersey man today who was killed in last week's terror attack in New York City. A funeral service is scheduled for 32-year-old Darren Drake today. He was one of 8 people killed in the vehicle attack. Drake's father says the man rode his bike at least 25 miles a day for exercise. He says he plans on donating his son's bike and his own bike to charity.
Questions remain unanswered following the death of an Illinois police officer and a man he pulled over. Officer Jamie Cox called for backup when he pulled a man over Sunday morning. Police say Cox got into a scuffle during the stop that caused him to get entangled in the man's car. Cox fired his gun during the scuffle. The man was then found dead from a single vehicle crash. The officer died later.
Part of Gans Road in Boone County will close today so a production company can shoot video for a short film. Gans Road will close between Rock Quarry Road and Bearfield Road between 10 and 4. Drivers will have to find an alternate route during the filming. On MU's campus, 5th Street between Stewart Road and Elm Street will close from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. today. A crew will remove a crane from a construction site at the power plant. Sidewalks are still closed on several streets near that area. The entire construction project is scheduled to be done by November 27th. Finally, the westbound lane of Columbia's Vandiver Drive between Paris Road and Nellwood Drive will close starting this morning at 6:30. A crew will install a new stormwater structure. The lane will be closed until next Monday if everything goes as scheduled.
Columbia Water and Light will be recognized for its service at the City Council's meeting tonight. The Missouri Public Utility Alliance will award the utility company for its energy efficiency programs. Then 10 electric workers will be honored for helping restore power in the wake of Hurricane Irma. The workers served communities in Orlando and Lakeland from September 8th to the 21st. St. Louis County owes nearly $2.3 million on an old lease for its Workforce Development Office. The county's been paying 2 rents for the office since February. Officials say the county got stuck with a bad lease, but wanted to move to a better place.
Get ready for a busy week on tax reform. The House Ways and Means Committee meets today to start debating and amending national legislation. KOMU8's Daytona Everett is live this morning to tell us how these changes could affect the housing industry right here in mid-Missouri.
Are you in the market to buy a new house? You might want to rethink just how much you're willing to spend. The proposed tax changes would offer fewer tax brackets and lower taxes for middle-class families, making it possible to do taxes on a postcard. But one drawback is mortgage interest deduction. It would be cut in half, according to CNN. If you're writing off a mortgage on your house today, you're fine. But people interested in buying a new house would have mortgage interest deductions capped at $500,000. So what does that mean for mid-Missouri?
I would say here in Columbia, the fact that the mortgage interest deduction is going to be limited is not going to have a huge impact because, again, most people aren't going to really be hit by that because house prices here are very affordable. But then the presence of higher income and a better jobs market should mean housing market looks good here in Missouri.
One Columbia real estate company told me they've already sold 54 houses in that price range this year. And they also say that it's buyers like this who would be affected by the tax changes. Reporting live in Columbia, Daytona Everett, KOMU8 News.
A man accused of killing 3 people inside a Denver Walmart is due in court today. 47-year-old Scott Ostrom is charged with first-degree murder. Authorities say he fatally shot 2 men and a woman in the store before getting away. Police arrested him the next day after a chase. They've not given a motive for the shooting. Ostrom could receive the death penalty. An Ohio death row inmate convicted for murder wants to die by a firing squad instead of a lethal injection. Attorneys for Alva Campbell say his breathing problems and poor veins make him too sick to be killed normally. Ohio Governor John Kasich ruled out the firing squad as an option back in 2015. This is a wild story. A Nebraska man's going to prison for sending prostitutes to strip on a neighbor's porch almost 75 times. A judge sentenced 45-year-old Douglas Goldsberry to 4 years for pandering. Police say he hired women to expose themselves on the porch where a family with 2 small children lived. The family says it happened around 75 times since 2013. Goldsberry has also been charged with having child pornography.
Overseas, 5 former leaders of Spain's northeast region were released from detention by a judge in Belgium overnight. Prosecutors say the president of Catalonia, Carles Puigdemont, and 4 of his ministers have to be back in court in about 15 days. The 5 turned themselves in after Spain issued arrest warrants for them for allegedly plotting a rebellion. 11 Saudi Arabian princes, 4 sitting ministers, and a dozen former ministers have all been arrested. They were detained in connection with an anti-corruption probe. The kingdom also made headlines this weekend by allowing women and their families into a stadium to watch a sporting event for the first time. 8 people are dead after a helicopter carrying a high-ranking Saudi prince and other government officials crashed yesterday near the country's border with Yemen. Security officials have not given a cause for that crash yet, but they say an investigation is underway.
The bodies of 26 female migrants arrived in Italy after a weekend of water rescues. Most of the women were on a rubber dinghy that sank in the Mediterranean Sea 2 days ago. 60 people survived the sinking. The bodies of those who died were taken to Italy on a Spanish ship that carried another 400 rescued migrants.
All right, we could see at least a few peaks of sunshine out your door early on this morning, but overall it's going to be another very cloudy next couple of days. I'll let you know when that sunshine is going to return to mid-Missouri coming up after the break.
Here's a live look over downtown Columbia at 6:12 in your Monday morning. You're watching KOMU 8 News Today, coverage you can count on.
Anything that the kids are doing, you have to be involved, especially with technology. They can go off on an off-ramp that you don't want them taking really quickly.
Monitoring your kids' online behavior. It can be a full-time job.
The first time the device comes home, parents are learning along with their child. It can be hard.
A lot of parents are intimidated because they did not grow up with it.
KOMU 8's Angie Bailey shows parents tools and techniques to help you manage your kids' online behavior. Watch Digital Defense, Keeping Kids Safe, tonight on KOMU 8 News at 10.
We're going to make this a November to remember at Bob McKay. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, take advantage of employee pricing on all 2017 Silverados, Suburban, Tahoe, Traverse, Colorado, Camaro, Corvette, and